The topic I'm going to present is use HI before using AI. Actually somebody read it as use high before using AI. And then I said, no, it's not high. Well, people start wondering, ye high kyun bol raha hai ye? No, but what do you make of HI? Human intelligence, right? So I'm a great advocate of AI. Believe me, and you just now heard a presentation on AI, banking on AI. Great advocate of AI. But I also believe that there is a use case for using human intelligence for enhancing customer experience. The first speaker of the day, Mr. Laukesh Thakur, he quoted Steve Jobs to say that understand the customer expectations first and then work backwards to find out the technological solution for it. So before you jump on, so don't start with the technological solution and then try to find out what problem it can solve. Find out what is it that the customer wants, and you can, then decide upon what technology to use. AI, I believe personally, has got tremendous potential in the banking space and BFSI space in general. That's something which I'll talk about maybe in some other forum. But right now, I'll give you a few examples. And these are, case studies, everyday life case studies, where simple, very, very simple changes to the system, maybe one line of code, maybe 2 lines of code, maybe 3 lines of code could have enhanced customer experience tremendously. And these are all real life cases that I'm going to talk to you about, right? So this is a standard disclaimer I have because it's these are all real life cases, so we don't mean to demean anyone. But so this is the first case study that I have is about a company which offers you piped natural gas. किसी घर में gas का pipeline है? Gas का pipeline? No. This company offers piped natural gas, so you get gas. And the use case that the problem that this company wants to solve is they have to do meter reading. And if they can self-service this meter reading, then they can enhance both the customer experience, right? Because the customer is able to submit his accurate meter reading on the date and save a huge amount of money in the process, because now what they would have done, the customer is doing, right? So the business logic that they desire is very simple, right? There is a scheduled meter reading date for every customer. First thing is there is a scheduled meter reading date for every customer. The second thing is that the consumer, he has to get an SMS with a web link 2 days prior to that scheduled meter reading date. The third is that he needs to click on that web link and then a web page should open. And clicking on that, the customer should be able to take the photo of the meter and submit it along with the meter reading. Plain and simple business process. ठीक है? कोई complication नहीं है? You think so? No complication in this. Very easy to implement, right? But now I will show you what has actually been implemented, and this is a real life case study, right? The scheduled date for a certain consumer was 7th of September. So when should he have received his SMS? 2 days prior, right? What date? 5th of September. When did he receive the SMS? 28th of August. 9 days prior. 9 days prior to the scheduled reading date, he gets an SMS. Now, so the fellow thinks that, कुछ मतलब पैसे की ज़रूरत होगी उनको, so perhaps they have sent the SMS early enough, right? So he clicks on the link and he submits. He sees his data. He finds this, yeah, it's in order, right? So he submits it, right? And he clicks on the photo of the meter and then he submits, and then he gets this message, reading received successfully. But you see, let us look at see, in normal course, would you like to pay your bill before the due date? And how many of us would like to do that? Is this not something that degrades the customer experience? Why is it that this happened? And what could have prevented it? A very, very simple line of code that if today is 2 days, that is today due date minus 2 is equal to today, then send the SMS, else don't send it. One single line of code, if they would have inserted this into their program, it could have prevented this mishap from happening. That the SMSs got sent 9 days in advance instead of 2 days in advance. But obviously, nobody bothered about it. Okay, so now let's see what happens next. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Now, to make matters worse, on the 1st of September, the consumer gets another SMS saying, here's the link, please submit your meter reading. Now, you see, the consumer has already submitted the meter reading, but he has got another SMS saying that you please submit your meter reading. And so he thinks that, what is it that you will normally conclude out of such a thing? एक गलती से भेज दिया होगा. You don't have to act upon it. But no, not गलती से भेज दिया होगा. Look at the second SMS which he receives on the very next day, saying, today the link is going to expire, please submit your meter reading. He says, okay. The earlier one he has not got. So the poor fellow actually goes and tries to resubmit it, right? But then, you know, how could you have prevented this from happening? If you were the programmer, what is it that you would have written in the programming code which would have prevented this mishap from happening? That if this माना कि 28th August का SMS went by mistake, assume. But that this mistake does not get repeated, what is it that you would have done? You would have written thus just one single line of code saying that there would have been a flag, SMS sent flag, right? Which would have been no. And the moment the SMS is sent, you change the flag setting to Y. And if the flag setting is Y, don't send the SMS again. One single line of code could have prevented this mishap. But obviously, nobody has taken care of that. Now let's see what happens next. Oh, sorry. So, you know, on the 2nd of September, as I mentioned, you know, the consumer is a nice guy, you know, he says, nahi mila yaar, kuch ho gaya hoga unko. You know, so poor fellow, he goes again. And taking a meter reading is not simple. The meter is just below the ceiling. So he brings a chair, you know, stands on the chair, climbs up, you know, and takes a photograph and then, you know, submits the meter reading again. And when he submits the meter reading again, what is the message that he's getting now? Server busy, please visit after some time, sorry for the inconvenience. Now there are two reasons why this message could have come. See, one reason is the plain lazy reason. Any error at the back end, show this message saying server busy. Don't have to worry about what reason it is, just show this server busy message. But the second reason, and probably the more important reason, could have been that, see, what happens is when you send a burst of SMSs where you are expecting the consumer to take or the recipient to take certain action basis those SMSs, and even if a small fraction of those people take that action together, then it can be overwhelming for the system. See, for instance, in this particular case, what did you ask the consumer to do? SMS में क्या लिखा था? Click on a web link. Now assume that this message got sent to 10 lakh consumers, and only 1% of that, 10,000 consumers, clicked on the link simultaneously. What would have happened to your server? The web server which is receiving these requests, what will happen to it? It will get overwhelmed with the incoming requests. And the result is that it will become unresponsive. Now again, you know, a very, very simple technological solution would have solved this problem. Do not send such SMSs in a burst. send these SMSs with a small delay. So the first SMS, the next SMS goes after a 20-second delay, the third SMS go after a 20-second delay, and so on and so forth. So that everybody doesn't get the SMS at the same time, everybody doesn't act upon the SMS at the same time, everybody doesn't click on that web link at the same time. Otherwise, you will end up in a situation that you have. Okay, I'll give you another example. So you see, just simple code changes could have enhanced customer experience in case of that piped natural gas company. I'll give you another example from an online pharmacy app. This app, this is from a very large business conglomerate, right? And it's their app, so you would have thought that it would have been state-of-the-art technology. The consumer places the order for a very simple product, a moisturizing lotion. Moisturizing lotion is something which is available over the counter. Not a very complex, easily available product, right? On the 25th of February, he places order for a moisturizing lotion. What is the message that he is getting? Delivering by 26 February to 1 March. Tell me, we are talking about the world of quick commerce. We are talking about the world of 10-minute delivery. And here is a company which says, I will deliver you from any time between 26 February and 1st March, which is a 4-day window. Now, how would you have solved this problem? Just 3 lines of code. See, the system knows the location of the consumer. The system knows the store from where the delivery will be made. So using the Google Map API, you can find out the travel time between the delivery store and the consumer's home. Now the system, first line of code. The second line of code, the system knows what is the scheduled pickup time of the delivery agency. And in the third line of code, all that you need to do is just combine these 2 things. The scheduled delivery time to the scheduled delivery time, simply add the time it is going to take to deliver to the consumer and show him that time. See, the delivery actually happened on the next day. But what did it show on the app? It showed 1st March is the delivery date. See, delivery actually happened on the 26th. But why do you have to show it arriving by 1st March? Why do people do it like this? When you don't know, or when you haven't implemented something as simple as what I told you just now, then you end up doing something of this nature. And the last example that I will give you is, of quick commerce, because we are now into the world of quick commerce, and we believe that quick commerce is the in thing and is going to be the next big thing that is going to happen to the world of e-commerce. Again, a real life example. So this consumer, he orders for 5 items. The fifth item that he has ordered for is 4 pouches of milk. But when the delivery happens, it's only 3 pouches of milk. When he asks the delivery boy, "Arey, wo chautha pouch kahan gaya?" He says, "I don't know. Whatever I was given, I have delivered to you." Says, "Arey, but I ordered for this much. You are delivering less." Says, "I don't know anything. Talk to my supervisor." He takes out his phone, calls up his supervisor, gives the phone to the consumer, says, "Baat kar lo." The supervisor says, "आपको अगर short delivery हुआ है, sorry about it, refund हो जाएगा." Okay, refund हो जाएगा. But when he doesn't have any idea, he says 2 घंटे में हो जाएगा. A whole day passes, nothing happens. The next day passes, again nothing happens. And then the consumer realizes that no, nothing will happen. You have to actually go to a certain menu and lodge a complaint of short delivery, saying that this is the item which I received less. And only when you lodge that complaint, you get a credit back into your wallet. Otherwise, you don't get the credit. Now tell me, if you are a programmer and you are to solve this problem, how would you do it? Very, very simple. You have the table where you have the order from the consumer. You have another table where what you are putting into the basket is available, because when you are actually taking out in your dark store and you are putting it into the basket of the delivery boy, at that time you are scanning and putting in. All that you need is a simple program that will compare what was there in the order table with what is there in the delivery table. And if you just compare there, then and there, you will come to know that there is short delivery of one item. And then what do you have to do? Just make another one simple line of code. That send a notification to the consumer and to the delivery boy that there is one item short, so that when the delivery boy actually delivers the product, he tells the consumer, boss, ek doodh ka pouch kam hai. The consumer feels satisfied and the consumer feels confident. It develops trust on this company. And the next thing that you can do, the second line of code that you need to develop is simply write saying that if this is the item that has been short delivered, multiply it by the price of that item and generate an automated refund. So that the consumer does not have to go into some menu and then do the whole process of getting the refund. So therefore, what is important for you guys to do? I mean, by all means, implement AI. But before you do that, take customer feedback, use relationship between data that is already available with you, and small changes, which will be quick wins, which we can do it with technology that is already available, and which you can do it at a very, very low cost. Implement those, and I'm sure you will be able to enhance customer service or customer expectation or customer satisfaction much, much better than you can using any sophisticated tool, right? I'll end this presentation saying that रहीमन देख बड़न को लघु न दीजिए डार, जहां काम आवे सुई कहा करे तरवार. Thank you very much.